Okay, I think we can start. It's already our high time. So, hello everyone. Once again, welcome to our today's presentation. We will be talking about automated Jira data replication and introduce to you one of our apps, the SQL Connector for Jira, which is exactly for this. A few words about us. My name is Anna, and I have my colleague Luba with me.
Hi.
We are both from AlphaServe. I am responsible for strategic business development and partnerships at AlphaServe.
And I'm responsible for the technical support and quality assurance processes in our company.
And actually about the company, AlphaServe is a software development company since 2003. With Atlassian, we are since 2018, being currently the Platinum Marketplace partner with 19 apps on the Atlassian Marketplace. You may already know us by our famous BI connectors portfolio, and our core competence is in data extraction and transformation. Besides Atlassian, we also are partners and operate in other ecosystems. We have BI connectors not only for Jira, but also for ServiceNow, for Zendesk, Shopify, and for Monday.com. And of course, we are proud to be chosen by known companies from all over the world. Some of them you can see on this slide. So, our agenda for today. What we will be talking about. We will start with a brief introduction about why a company replicates data. What is it actually, the data replication? Then we'll proceed with the databases overview, what databases normally are in use, what is the global market, etc. Then we'll continue with the main use cases for Jira and SQL integration. And we will sum up with the SQL Connector for Jira demo. In the end, you will be able to, we will have a Q&A session, so you will be able to ask questions in the chat, in the Q&A session. And as far as I understood, it will also be possible to raise a hand and ask a question by voice. Are you ready? Let's start then. My part will be the first one, the business part. So, as promised, starting with the Jira data replication. What is it? Basically, Jira data replication refers to the process of copying or duplicating the data from Jira instance to any other location. Typically, it's a separate database or storage system which company uses. Replicating Jira data provides companies with more flexibility, with some performance optimization, and they may also meet some specific business requirements, making it a common practice in many Jira deployments. What does Jira data replication gives us? What can it help us to do? The first is the data consolidation, which means that teams can examine Jira data alongside data from other systems which they grab into a single database, and thus they can unveil correlations and patterns that would otherwise remain hidden. The second, not less important option is to use Jira data replication for backup and archive. This ensures that valuable historical data remains accessible, as well as it can serve as a backup mechanism just in case. The next point is about the advanced reporting, of course, because normally databases support complex querying, and this enables teams to create some sophisticated, in-depth Jira reports. The thing which I cannot mention is the ML, machine learning, and the predictive analytics. Using Jira data replication in databases allows Jira data to be stored and build machine learning models and perform predictive analysis, which is very important in our unpredictable times. And last and not the least is the data retention and compliance, which is especially important to the companies managing tons of sensitive data. It enables to maintain historical records for auditing purposes, for example, or compliance with regulatory standards. So what data management systems companies normally use? Of course, it depends on the company's preferences, processes, purchasing requirements, etc. we have a very wide market for such software tools, and I was lucky to find the very fresh, the most fresh statistics as of September 2023, so it's actually last month. The worldwide on the Statisticom, as you can see, the market is huge. The market leader is definitely the Oracle data management system and MySQL, having Microsoft SQL Server, PostgreSQL, MongoDB. So as you see, there is a wide choice. If you decide to go through the Jira data replication, you can choose any of those tools depending on your requirements. So what are the use cases? Which companies and why do they normally use the Jira SQL integration? Let's talk about this. The first case, which may be very familiar to a lot of you, is the development workflow optimization for software development agile teams. So how does it work? Integrating Jira with SQL database, teams gain the ability to perform a detailed analysis of their workflow. They can track the time taken for each development stage. They can identify bottlenecks in the process. They can measure the efficiency of their agile practices. They can collaborate better and optimize the workflow or even change it if they find this necessary. With these insights, the company can make improvements which will be data-driven to the development workflow, and this will of course result in the faster delivery times and higher quality software, which is always the end target of every software development team. Another case is about the cross-functional collaboration and data visibility. For organizations which use Jira to manage projects and the organizations which have multiple teams and departments, it can be a good case. Integrating Jira with SQL database, they establish a centralized hub for their data for collaboration and visibility. This allows stakeholders from different teams and different locations to access and contribute to project data in real time. It also enables cross-functional analysis and reporting, and provide a view of project progress and facilitating seamless team collaboration. As a result, the decisions are taken in a more streamlined way, the communication improves, and the project outcomes are enhanced. I could not omit the customer support, as Jira TSM is growing very fast. So what can be done here? What can we tell you about? If the business uses Jira to manage customer support tickets, they can integrate Jira with an SQL database and perform a more detailed analysis of customer support data that they just do with Jira. They can track resolution times, identify common issues, monitor team performance in handling customer inquiries, etc. And this information, of course, could then be used to improve customer support services and overall customer satisfaction. And one more case I'd like to share is about the resource allocation and budgeting. For organizations which use Jira for project management, they very often use it to track their resources and project costs. So in this case, integrating Jira with SQL database allows to analyze this data and gain insights on the resource usage, on budget management, and this in the final end can help to identify areas where resources might be overutilized or underutilized, track if projects sustain with budget, and of course make better decisions for future projects for their resource allocation and budgeting. If any of these use cases sounds familiar to you and sounds interesting, then we can tell you that there is a ready solution for integrating Jira with numerous popular databases. It's our SQL Connector for Jira. It's available both for cloud and for on-premise, and you can easily find it on the Atlassian Marketplace. Here is how it looks like. I must say this is a great app, of course. I consider all of our apps to be great, but honestly, it has...
This is the best.
Yeah, of course, it's the only one SQL integration, but of course it's the best. So coming back to the product and its key features, as all of our products, it has the user-friendly interface, which allows you to easily navigate the app without any specific skills. It allows to customize your data export, add or remove tables to be listed in the data sets, apply various filters, and customize the Jira data export as much as you need. You can create unlimited data sources across all Jira projects and export volumes of data to any of the supported databases without any impact on your Jira instance. App provides the direct connection between Jira and SQL databases and making this bridge very simple to run. One of the offerings also include the scheduled auto export, where you can automate your data export setting, the exact time per day using cron, or just schedule export at some specific time. You are able to view data source export history with a list of all tables exported with the help of our app. And of course, we could not omit the data security, which is ensured here, with the help of granting permissions for data access and setting management only to the selected users, so it's managed very securely and very conveniently. If you're interested, let's see how it looks like. And here is the stage where Luba steps in with the live demo.
Actually, it's pre-recorded one, but anyway, I'm going to comment it on live. Okay. The connector is available for Jira Cloud and Jira Data Center. So if you are site admin for Jira Cloud or the Jira administrator for your data center, you can install an application from the Atlassian Marketplace. But if you are not, you can also request your administrators to install it at your instance. And if you are an admin, you can start using the application from the very beginning without any additional settings. And you will be able to find the application under the apps. So here, you can start to build your own data sources, or also use the shared with me if somebody else already configured the data source. But of course, if you are an admin, those persons also should be the admin to create the data sources. But if you'd like to provide some other users who don't have administration privilege to create a data source and export the data to external database, you can also do this by providing permissions for certain users, so each separate user can be selected, or additionally the user group also is the option to grant the permissions. And if the user is granted permission, the user will be able to find the application under the apps. So here we can start to create a data source, but very important things to mention that all the data will be exported according to your Jira permissions. So all the permissions and level of the permissions is applied. And this is also available third-party applications to export the data from, and we have the full list in our documentation. So you can go through all the supported add-ons if you'd like to export and replicate the data from the third-party applications as well. And let's create the first data source. Actually, we do not have a lot of required fields, just a name. All other fields are optional. You can add some description if you'd like, and you also can share some of these data sources with other users who also have permission to work with this connector. But this is optional. You can do it or not. And let's review the available data for export. Here you can see the Jira Work Management tab, and all the fields, common fields can be found here, such as the issues, work logs, histories, users, custom fields, projects, and so on and so forth. So all the field that comes from Jira Work Management and also Jira Software and Jira Service Management are also supported. And here, under the Jira Work Management tab, you can find all the information relevant to all three products from Atlassian. But at the Jira Software tab, you'll find only the specific Jira Software information, and the Jira Service Management also is the Jira Service Management specific information. Let's export some data. I'm interested, for example, in issues and in the project. So I'm going to select these tables for export. And also I have too much data at my instance. I'd like to get on the specific one. So I can apply the JQL filter and filter out these tables and get exactly what I need. Or also, if I'm not familiar with the JQL, I can apply some basic filters. It's much easier if you're not familiar with the JQL to deal with the basic filter, and also some additional options to filter out the issues available here. At my use case, I also interested in some additional details from the Jira software, specifically in sprints. So I'm going to switch to the Jira software and select the sprints. And again, I don't need everything. I just need few projects I'm interested in. And also I'd like to export only the active sprints. So I apply these filters. And also I'm going to add one more additional table related to the issue sprints that actually allows me to have the connection between two tables, and we have the clue with a linkage that allows me to understand that this particular table is needed if I'd like to have relationships between the tables. So I believe I selected everything I wanted, and I'd like to see how my data will be exported to the database. Here I can see a preview of the entity relationship diagram. This is just for the reference, and I can see all the data and the structure of the tables. And I'm saving the data source, and application says me that the data and status is not exported. So I'm going to export the data. Pressing the export data, and here applications allows me to build the connection with my external database. So basically at this stage, if you are not the database administrator or somebody else who can do this, you need to request this information to connect your external database to the connector. And also you can see that several types of databases are supported, and all you need is your database details connection and the credentials, of course. Also, I have already set up the connection, and I'm just switching to another tab and select from existing connections. So nothing to do at this point, so I'm going to save it for this particular data source. And of course, you can set up as many databases as you need here under the databases by providing a new database settings. Specifically, you can use any kind of database to export the data from the list, from the supported list. I'm initiated the export data, and application start the export to this database. What I can do else with my data source, I can edit this data source anytime. I can delete it, I can share or archive or clone, and also preview the ERD from here, and also set up another database for this particular data source. Also, I can review the full entity relationship diagram for my entire instance. This is actually a huge one, so we would rather recommend to review the entity relationship for specific data source. But anyway, you can find the all required information if you need it from the data relationship diagram. So right now I see that the data are already exported. So I'm going to switch to my database, and from here I navigate to the database, to the provided schema, to find my exported tables. And here under the tables, I'm refreshing and get the list of tables I actually added to my data source. So all of them are here. So now I can play with my data or just do whatever I'd like according to my use case. Let's get back to the Jira. And here, as I already mentioned, you can anytime edit the data source. And additionally, what you can else do to make your life easier, set up the auto export. Auto export allows you to set up your export daily or by using the cron expressions. So by setting the daily, you can pick up the specific time, and at this particular time, our application will automatically export the data, the new data from your Jira in your database. Or by writing the cron expression, you can set up more flexible period of times according to your requirements, and this way automatically export the data to the database, and this way skip all the manual work. And as I already mentioned, you can edit the data source, you can add any other tables, you can adjust the filters. So this is something you can do anytime. So it's up to you how you'd like to deal with your data source. And of course, as soon as you edit the data source, you probably would like to export new data. So the application provides you with the status not exported. The documentation we have provides a lot of step-by-step guides for the administrators, for the users, and especially for the database configuration. We have some clues for these questions. And if you have any problems or questions during your trial, please feel free to contact our support. That is also easy to reach from the application itself, and we'll be happy to help you with any of your questions.
Thank you. That was really good. Hope you liked it. So we have not only this application, we have a portfolio of connectors for Jira, including not only the SQL integration, but also the Power BI connector for Jira, Tableau connector for Jira, BigQuery, Oracle Analytics connector, and SAP Analytics Cloud connector for Jira. So just in case you're interested in any of those, you can also reach out to us. Here is a QR code with a link to the full portfolio. And we also have a booth on the JiraCon, so you can come up and chat with us on any of these integration topics. And actually, we are done. As I said, we are kindly invite you to visit our booth for more conversations. We invite you to follow us on LinkedIn. And of course, if you have any questions, ideas, requests, whatever, partnership opportunities, email us directly. We will be happy to talk to you today. And as promised, we have time for Q&A. We still have a lot of time for Q&A, so we can just answer any of your questions if you have. Please feel free to put them in the Q&A session, and we will answer them for you. Don't be shy, guys.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, while we're waiting, probably we can talk about something we have from the customers.
Yeah, actually, there are some things which I think you didn't mention. For example, let's talk about some access permissions and how are they managed on this application.
Well, by default, as I mentioned, it can be installed only by the administrator. And if we're talking about cloud, in cloud, it means that the org admins, site admins, Jira administrators, or administrators group will be granted with the permission to work with this application. But all other users won't be able to work it unless this permission is granted to them. Mm-hmm. So basically, if I'd like to provide some user with permission to work with this application and give a task to export the data to external database, I need to be sure that this particular person has all the relevant permissions in terms of all the access to the projects I'd like to export. The relevant issue security schemes is applied to be able to export all the data we need. So everything will be exported according to particular user permissions. So nothing, this is not a backdoor to your Jira data. Specifically what you can see in your Jira, this person will be able to export, but only if this person is granted with a permission to export.
Okay, great. And we have some questions. Wow, I like it. Because, you know, when you don't have questions, on one hand, it seems like that everything is clear, but on the other hand, maybe nothing is clear. So thank you for the questions. Can we export all custom field types to DB using this connector?
Yes, you can. And especially if you're interested in custom fields from third-party plugins, we also support some of them. So you can also review the list of supported add-ons, and probably if your custom field comes from this particular plugin, you can also do this. But the standard custom fields are supported.
Okay. Please let us know if this fully answers your question, or feel free to ask more. And one more question here is, do you support all the latest PostgreSQL DB versions? So how about the version support?
We support several versions, and as far as I remember, we support the latest one. So please feel free to check, and also this information should be placed in our documentation. So I'm assured, so everything should work with the latest version, because there is no need to support the old ones.
And by the way, if something is not supported, can customers reach to us and request some more versions to support? Is it relevant?
Yes, we support this kind of request, like feature requests. So please feel free to also reach our support team with the feature requests. This same comes to the third-party applications, because we have this option to review the possibility to provide the integration with additional third-party applications, and actually we continuously improve our application by adding new functionality. So this is an option you have.
Okay, good to hear. Any other questions? Okay, while you're thinking, maybe I will ask also one thing which is very often asked. I don't know if you guys know. I wanted to ask you about the trial. So if you are in cloud, is it possible to have more than 30 days? So how do we work with it?
Yeah, so basically Atlassian provides 30 days, as you know, but of course, while you have to deal with such kind of connector, it's not always enough time to explore all the functionality. So here, it will be happy to help you to extend your trial, and actually this can be done by Atlassian, but with our help and with our approval. So if you need such an extension, you also please contact our support team, and we can help you with this question to extend the trial, so you can have enough time to evaluate their application.
Okay, thank you. And one more point I also remembered. It's one of the frequently asked questions. Maybe you can also tell something about this, about the performance impact using the application. Is it somehow influences the Jira instance?
No, the application actually developed with keeping in mind all the limitation provided by the API and everything like this. So there is no any kind of performance impact.
Okay. I hope it's good to know for you. Thank you for your thanks in the chat. We see it all. But maybe some more questions from the audience. Okay. One more? No? Okay. Okay, dear attendees, thank you. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for joining our session. I know we are competing with a few more and they're not less interesting than ours. So we are thankful that you have selected our topic. I do hope that this was really valuable for you, and looking forward to see you on our booth, looking forward to see you among our trialing and purchasing customers. Have a great day ahead. Have a great JiraCon today. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.